and she expressed this situation that she's facing. So Swamiji's insight or answer to this devotee is, so listen, please listen this important information. If you are one of the unconscious parent contributing this kind of act in front of the children, so listen carefully. He say, arguing is nothing but being unable to come to terms with the other person, your spouse, okay? It is not that you are unable to come to terms with the situation. No, understand, you are not able to come to terms with the other person that you are arguing with. So he said, you're asking, how will this hurt my children, right? Both of you not able to come to terms, with each other, and you're arguing and you're creating a kind of a scene in the family, and the children are witnessing all that in their eyes. So, and you ask, what this devotee asks, how will this hurt our children? Swamiji says, it is going to bring tremendous damage and hurt to your children. How? He said, one great thing which happened in my life, Swamiji is sharing his life, was I never saw my father abusing my mother, either verbally or physically. So you can imagine Swamiji never, witnessed any domestic violence in his family, amongst the parents. He said, of course, he never abused her physically. And obviously, Swamiji's father is such a great devotee as well. So he's a very, very kind-hearted gentleman. So he said, very rarely there will be some verbal fights, but he will always make sure it never happens in front of us. So the parents takes care that even they have some level of disagreement in life, which is quite normal for a married couple, but they take care that they don't, it doesn't happen in front of the children. So that is what the parents' responsibility. Next slide. So I tell you, I still feel grateful to my father for this one thing. Just because of that, I can see very clearly how beautifully my inner space got built and how much of respect I have for both of them, both his parents. See, respect for the parents means respect for 1,001 good things they taught you. 1,001 good things they taught you. That was what gave me the courage to break the parental conditioning. So he said, when kids see parents fighting in front of them, they lose trust in life and their risk-taking ability is broken. See, the courage to take risks, the ability, see, the courage to take risks come from trust. So the moment you have trust, you have the courage to take risks. Because of this environment that children are brought up, there is a lot of domestic violence fighting at home, break this trust and ability to take risks, which is very important in life. If you don't trust life, then how are you going to even trust enlightenment? Understand? How are you going to trust Guru? They are put into the fear psychosis of, oh, if I don't behave, I may not have a place here. So the child will think that, oh, if I don't behave, they're so fearful that they misbehave, that they will lose, the ability to exist. They don't even have a place here. So that kind of wrong, faulty cognition it get inserted in them when they grow up in an environment that domestic violence is common. And he said that to run a home, you need to give a complete safe and secure feeling. So don't argue in front of the kids. So this is what Swamiji said. See, how many of you experienced this as part of your childhood, growing up years? How many of you witness your parents fight all the time, a lot of domestic violence? And you feel that you don't have trust in life, or you have this fear of taking risks in life? How many of you? Raise your hand. I was like that before also. I tell you, when I was very young, below 7, I think maybe 5, 6 years old, I already seen so much domestic violence between my parents, always fighting over money, not lack of money, okay? So it was very common. And I remember having this fear of poverty consciousness, having this fear of not having enough, because without money, I don't want to get into this problem of, family not in good terms because of money. So I mean, the one thing that helped me or saved me is my relationship, my trust with for my dad, give me that, at least that grounding. See, if you don't trust, like at least you have trusted relationship in at least one parent, okay, whether the mother or the father, that at least gives you, the ability to trust life. And also having that trust in life gives you the ability to trust Guru also. And with that trust in Guru, you can jump to enlightenment. Imagine if you don't have a trust in Guru, how are you going to take risks? How are you going to take all this decision, that is going to fundamentally change your life? You will not be able to have this ability to take risks. You'll be so, so attached to security, certainty. Remember in the last session, we talked about, how to handle uncertainty, right? So this ability to handle uncertainty, taking risks, comes also in your upbringing, ability to have this trust in life, which comes from partly your parental conditioning. So he said that, Swamiji said that because of the parents, loving relationship, which he never observed them fighting in front of them, that gives him the courage. His inner space is built beautifully with that so much respect for the parents. So that respect for the parents gives him the courage to break the parental conditioning. See, for enlightenment to happen, as you start progressing in your spiritual awakening, raising your consciousness, at some point in time, you have to start breaking all the conditioning that you get from parents, from society, from peers, all kinds of conditioning. Because conditioning are nothing but fabrication of a society. Is not grounded on the eternal truth. So all this conditioning by external world has to be broken once you are raising yourself in the consciousness. Understand? So that's why Swamiji say, give your child the ultimate security, because he has received that gift from his parents. And many of us who are parents ourselves, or nurturer of next generation, whether as a teacher or whether as a parent, please make this clear understanding about this insight. Imagine, without that trust, your child will forever hiding in fear, not able to have a breakthrough, not able to take risks, and not able to have adventure in life, because they want to be safe, they want to feel secure. See, that is the greatest security, is to give them the right, upbringing, so that they trust life. That is the ultimate security. Not trying to overprotect them such that they become weak. They are not able to handle life. They are not able to flow with life. That is not what we want. We want to bring intelligent kids, courageous kids, kids who trust life, to take on, risk, who take on higher possibility for them. And that is what is important. So just to sum up, he said, you need to give a complete safe and secure feeling. That safe and secure feeling is not to have, not to hurt them by showing them violence or fight in the family. So don't argue in front of your kids. That is, because once you do that, they will feel energy split in them, because they came from both the union of both, both of you. And whenever they witness the parents fight in front of them, it's like one part, they're split into two. They feel split, seeing the mother arguing with the father. So don't do that in front of the kids. So that is what Swamiji says. It's like, so he said, children lose respect for life and experience incompletion with life itself when they see parents fighting. Understand? The incompletion with life starts when the parents fighting at a very young age. Okay, they lose respect for life. They don't trust life anymore. So because the parents are the two embodiment of life, the two beings they're closest to them in their childhood, right? For a child, parents are the two closest being to a child. So when they see the two closest being to them fight with each other, how are they going to have trust in life? How are they going to feel complete with life? Understand? Because the parents are life to them. The parents means they are life to the child. Okay? So when they carry the wound of seeing parents fighting, the wound which is not healed or completed, they feel incomplete with the father or the mother, or they carry so much of incompletion inside them towards life. So these are all possible incompletion, whether it's incompletion with one parent or the other parent, or also incompletion inside them towards life. They don't feel, life is beautiful anymore. They feel life is sad, life is cruel, life is suffering, whatever. So when they see both of you sharing a beautiful love, when both parents are loving, they feel fulfilled, they feel complete and fulfilled. That is what we need to create as the ultimate security in the family. Understand? So that is what we need to do. Okay, so next slide. So now let's take a few minutes to contemplate on this insight, okay, about what Swamiji has said. If you have been brought up in a family with domestic violence, where you're witnessing your parents fighting some kind of violence, and you have lost trust or inability to take risks because you feel, this wound in the young age that you have not completed, just please take your book of heart and pen down, okay? Contemplate, how is it still affecting you? If it's not affecting you, then great, you're done the completion. If it still affects you, it means what? It means that you're still carrying the wound of this lack of trust in life. You don't trust life. So which means you need to somehow bring awareness and drop this wound in your inner space. Okay? So please take a few minutes. If you have questions, you can ask. Let me just see the chat if there's any question asked. Oh, yeah, life is unfair. Yeah. When child develop this feeling that life is unfair, they cannot trust life, then that is actually a very, very unhealthy development for the child's inner space. Understand? So
then how do I help the child? Because my son very young already have this.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so Ma Jarashadika cognized this part as one of the situation. Okay. So first of all, anyone have the similar situation where you have been fighting with your husband and your child has witnessed this all the time? Anyone have this situation? Or you're the child. You're not the parents, but you're the child. You have to sit a bit. Yeah. Or you're the child who have witnessed the parents fought with each other like crazy, and just like me, I was a child. How many? Let me see. Okay.
I've like at the dinner table, sometimes my parents would bicker lah, but it's just verbal lor. But I do realize that because of this, then because there's nothing I could do, so I become more detached. I won't want to pass any comment.
So the detachment that you grow in your life it's just to protect yourself, my dear, right?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
feel hurt, you don't want to take sides, so you detach, which
Mm,
is one way of escapism. It is not completion, be very clear.
mm,
Okay, so which means it's still not the ultimate solution. Ultimate solution is to be complete, right?
mm.
So running away and not wanting to deal with things is maybe temporary, will just gives you a kind of relief, but it ain't going to resolve this inside you. The pain or the impact of this happening in front of you in your life, in your cognition, in your way how you view life. Understand? Which
Okay.
which already was created when you were a child.
Right.
And in the child, when things are happening as part of life, whether it's some violence or anything, in that moment, in that present moment where the incident happened in front of you, you have certain idea and certain cognition to form certain conclusion. Correct? You form certain conclusion about you, about parents, about life. So
Yeah.
that conclusion is like scripting. You are scripting your inner space, how your mind works. Your mind operates based on all this conditioning, all this scripting that you put, or I can say also incompletion or some wrong belief. They form the underlying scripting for your entire life at a young age. As a result of this unconscious scripting, how you have written your life, you create a life based on this unconscious blueprint that you created. Understand?
Mm.
So which means, let's say you witness something and you start hating your one of your parent, let's say your father. You don't like your father because your father always beat your mom or something, try to find fault in her. You see your mom always crying and you're protective of your mom. For instance, I'm just giving an example. And somehow you start getting disconnected with one dimension of you, which is the masculine part of you, because you didn't like your father, right? Your father is a embodiment of the masculine energy, right? So that is not a good thing, isn't it? Now, so all of you who, hello, I have another, just joined. He just cycled from whatever it is. Okay, so now, so basically what Jara Sharika was asking, what do I do now with my child when he has already formed this imprint? Okay, so first of all, you bring completion, you as mother, with whatever you've done to your kids. Understand? That means don't carry the guilt or carry the what you call that, the pattern of not able to accept yourself for what happened. Okay, so you need to drop all that as well. You yourself need to move on from not able to, or you any regret or guilty that you feeling of whatever you have done, in terms of fighting with your spouse in front of children. So you understand that certain damage has been done, correct? So she recognized that certain damage or hurt has been done to the child's inner space. Now, first you drop the guilt inside your carrying. Okay, so this is for yourself, self-completion first. Then you take the opportunity to talk to him. It means you need to complete with him, help him understand the situation at that time. so that he can again bring completion, through you, because you put that kind of happening in his life, right, and created that imprint. So try to take opportunity to complete with him, so that he no longer carry that wounds or the hurt.
To do completion, I have to bring out the interior. And first, of course, I complete myself first.
Correct. So that one you're clear, right? That one is straightforward. I think doing with the child is going to be the challenging part, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, your child is already a teenager, right?
He is almost 50.
So he's already a young man, right? So do you witness what Swamiji mentioned, the symptoms of not trusting life, not take risks, that kind of thing?
Yeah, he doesn't take
See, he's already demonstrating that kind of like the safe, secure feeling, right? Because of this nature. Now, see, which means his life is no adventure, but predictable. Then he's missing a lot in life, right?
He just wants to do minimum, everything is as simple as possible.
So the next part is to help him understand. See, this truth that you cognize, you help him understand what is happening, so that first of all you need to make sure that he's ready to open up to you. Understand? This is the first part. If he's not ready to open up to you, even you try to catch him, he will try to run away, or he will not provide listening. So first, make sure that he's ready to open up to you. Okay? That takes a bit more effort, actually. The completion part is easy once he open up. The preparation to make him open up is the main thing. Because if you have not built that communication or communion with your child since very young, it's like the communication is broken. So it's not going to come and say, oh, mom, he's not going to open up so easily to you. See, like for me, with me and Kai, we had kept this open communication. If he's not happy, he will just come and talk to me, and I can just go and talk to you. There's no hiding. You understand? It's not like, we just keep quiet and pretend nothing happened. We can't pretend nothing happened. We will have to talk, right? So for you, you need to first open him up so that he can come to terms to want to complete. Okay? Any other questions? Let me see. There's some questions in the chat. Wait, let me just scroll back. Okay. Yes, the running away pattern. Yes, I didn't notice this pattern comes from parents fighting before. Yeah, so that's why I would say this session, I'm telling you, today's lesson it's too insightful of all about your childhood traumas and childhood conditioning, all covered in this lesson. Okay, so now Chandrasekhara Priya say, I used to feel that my parents could never get along with each other, but like one or two moments of loving exchange between them seems something I hold on. Okay. So see, some of I've actually encountered some Indian families. The father is very autocratic and very violent. They suppressed the wife, the mother. I do not know. So the wife has just to be like a domestic helper, and everything was suppressed. And the man is just like we call it the dominant figure. And they're violent. They even beat the wife up or even suppress them emotionally. So quite a lot of these women had such suppressed, so unequal right in the marriage, so, which obviously created a lot of incompletion. I've seen that happening, and invariably somehow either one of them would develop some kind of very chronic diseases, whether it's cancer or whether it's some kind of chronic diseases, heart diseases, whatever you name it. which is very common. Okay. Now, so basically, now that you know, our parents create a lot of imprint in us at the childhood time, because they are the two figures who we live most of the time with. We can't escape. So that's why before the soul, they descend to choose the parents, right? So you must understand that you chose your parents.
Blindly.
Unconsciously. Yes.
Unconsciously.
Exactly. All unconscious blurs is like that only. You just say, oh, I want a body. Just jump to the next available body. You don't even know what kind of family and upbringing, right? You have to choose. If you're a conscious soul, you're a more mature soul, you wait for the next right parents to come along, right? But when you're like, I cannot tolerate without a body, let me just go and grab a body, then you just choose one body, and then you just you're back again on planet Earth. And then you realize that, oh, I don't like this parent, but what to do? You chose it because you're in a hurry to get a new body. So that's why Swamiji said, when you become more and more unclutched and in restful awareness, you will not rushing. You can actually have the option to be liberated or the option to assume another body as a conscious birth. That conscious birth means you have the freedom to choose the right family, the right place to be brought up, and with all the right bio-memory, so that you can fulfill whatever mission you decided to come down to do again. Understand? So that is the freedom only comes when you have a conscious birth. But many of us, before meeting Swamiji, the body we assume is unconscious. We are not like our incarnation, right? We are just thing happened, right? So if you remember your birth, if you remember why you came down, then you are a conscious birth, right? Swamiji remember, why he was guided by the fire in Arunachala, the Agni from Arunachala. He descended. That was a guiding fire that drew his, the consciousness back to planet Earth, right? He described that. He described his birth, how he came back to planet Earth. He remembered everything. So that was a conscious descent. But for most of us, it's not a conscious descent. If we ask you how do you appear, you don't even remember. So that is the thing. So, but right now that you have already happened, right, on planet Earth, you already assumed the body. So what you can best do is to make sure that how to break free from the parental conditioning. See, all seeker, whether you know it or not, want it or not, believe it or not, you have to break all parental conditioning. In Bhagavad Gita, I remember Swamiji say that in the Sankhya Yoga, the second chapter, and Arjuna was in fear of taking the war, remember? He was just totally shaken. He doesn't want to fight, even though he's supposed to be a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means a warrior, right? And a warrior who doesn't want to fight, something is seriously wrong, right? He's not upholding his dharma. So what I want to say is that in that chapter, he says that the first layer for a seeker to raise the consciousness is break the parental conditioning. Any societal conditioning, including the parental conditioning, you need to break it. That's why when you start raising yourself, some people will drop you. They say, it's like when I came to Swamiji, all my colleagues, previous colleagues, all left me. All my yoga teachers friends all left me. All of them left me. But of course, I found new friends and new family, right? You attract people with your same frequency, right? Swamiji say the blood, family related to blood or family related to your psychology, right? That means your cognition about life. So that is your, the people, the Sangha who imbibe the same kind of truth based on the Guru's teaching. You will attract these people around you. because that's where you can understand each other more. You're in the same frequency and mental setup also. So that's why it is important that we need to break all parental conditioning. So part of the whole contemplation for this question is, whatever parental conditioning that had been given to you or unconsciously imprinted on you, whether it's, lack of trust, lack of, ability to take risks, wanting to seek comfort and don't want to go out and have an adventure, all that you need to bring awareness and start completing. Find the source of where this come from and complete with that. You need to break it. Okay? Thumbs up? Yes?
I remember Swamiji said it must be, for your bio memory, we can only be cleared by a guru, not ourselves. So
he has to burn, some of the karma that we came down for. Yeah, but those that we can complete, we have to break it. All this conditioning by society, we need to break it, including parental conditioning. Okay? So so you written your book of heart, what impact your parents gave you, and whether if you're still suffering. If you are not suffering anymore, then congratulations, you're liberated from your parental conditioning. If you are still stuck with this, lack of trust or inability to take risks, or wanting that kind of pseudo security, the real security comes from complete trust in life. Trusting life to take care of you is the ultimate security. Okay? Not trying to hold on to some false security, whether it's money or some kind of power, that will be taken away at some point in time, right? That will be taken away. But the real security is having the trust in life. Whatever happened, life will take care of you. Then nothing can touch you. Okay? Great. Let's go on to the next. One click takes so long. But okay, that one is an important one, because that insight was like, wow, it's so, it not only just affect the parents, it also affects the children, because you are now the parent of your children. Because we were the children once upon a time by our parents, right? So what our parents did to us, and now you suddenly realize, oh God, am I going to pass this legacy back, to the next generation? So if you become conscious, you break it at your level. You will not pass it on to your child, and then the child go on to the next generation. So you break it and take responsibility to break it. Okay. So now the next insight, number 10, is you are not an island. So this is a very beautiful satsang Swamiji said. So listen carefully. He said, please understand, a human being is not an island as you constantly believe and as you are made to believe by society. You're not an island if the water you drink is poison, for instance. It is not just you who is going to die, right? If you imagine the water source, right? Everybody drink, we're all going to be poisoned, isn't it? Same thing with the air. If the air that you breathe is already poisoned, you're not only going to be the one who's going to die. Whoever breathes the same air or in the same breathing space will also going to suffer, right? So what Swamiji said, we are not islands, but we are constantly living in the delusion that we are islands. Understand? Ignorance is nothing but believing you are an island. You're alone. You're just doing things by yourself. No, we're affected by people around us because we're all interconnected. So he said, knowledge means understanding you're connected to everything, not just nature. We're also connected at the consciousness level. Understand? So your consciousness and my consciousness can affect each other, and the collective consciousness on the whole cosmos will be affected if, let's say, someone is very violent. That will affect the entire collective consciousness, whether in that place or in that whole country, for instance, also globally. So enlightenment means realizing you are everything. That means you're connected to everything. So any thought trend, philosophical system, or education trend, whether it is, there are different streams of lineage, like Dvaita, Vashishta Dvaita, Shaiva Siddhanta, communism, Jainism, anything that is built on the concept that an individual is an island has no basis. Understand? It is built on delusion. It is built in illusion. He said, if some of these thoughts tell you that you're alone, you're individual, no. He said this is not true, because that's why Swamiji said in oneness we are all interconnected. Oneness is what we should all be seeking. We should try to attain the feeling of oneness. So when you feel oneness, you will never do any harm to the other person. You feel the person is part of you, you're in part of that person.
How to get our kids to do homework? Do we say that is your responsibility?
Okay, I come to that later on. Next slide.
That's my problem.
Okay, so any thought trend built on the concept that you are an island reduces the breadth of your vision and finally makes you completely blind. So anything that makes you blind is obviously not the truth, right? You cannot be blinded. You should have the clarity. So do not think that just because you're unable to see, you're able to see, you have vision. Understand? Seeing is different, vision is different. Seeing with the two eye on having the vision is different. Ability to receive this information, process it and present it in front of you, in front of a conscious, is seeing. Consciousness taking cognizance and responding is vision. So understand the difference between seeing and vision. Swamiji is explaining. I repeat again. Your ability to receive information from the outer world, process with a logic, and present it in front of your consciousness is seeing. Okay, I'm seeing a tree. Now the bird is flying there and resting on the tree. So you're seeing, right? You're able to cognize what is happening. Whereas for vision means your consciousness taking cognizance. That means able to grasp the higher truth or the reality and responding to it is vision. Okay? Understand? So capturing of data by your eyes is only seeing. This is not vision. This is only receiving information as a kind of perception, which is an input to your senses only. That is seeing through the eyes. Okay? But having vision is totally different. Because having vision means your consciousness is involved. Your consciousness is activated. Your consciousness is responding from all the information, and that is the vision. So you're not an island. That is the first truth you need to realize. So whatever you do will impact collectively. You cannot just grab something and hold on to it. Anything you get is just like a huge ice cube in your hand, including enlightenment. Okay, this is a bit chima. Anything you get is just like a huge ice cube in your hand, including enlightenment. Next slide. Okay, so if you go on radiating enlightenment and making the people who are around you also enlightened, you're safe. Not only you save yourself, but you also save others. If you just hold on to it tightly and say, oh, it is only for me, enlightenment is just me, I don't care about others. I need to raise myself, I need to do tapas and myself only, I don't care about others, I don't need to go and enrich others. I don't need to do causing to others. The ice will melt down and you will be left with only empty hands. Okay, so this is the analogy that Swamiji is trying to gift to all of us. When you try to hold something tightly and without sharing, without enriching, you are just going to melt and escape from the cracks of your hands, and then you realize, oh, the solid ice is now empty because it's melted away. Please understand, anything in your life, whether it is wealth or enlightenment, unless you share it, you will not have it. Unless you share it and create more and more, wealth, let's say, around you, then you will get to enjoy it. Same thing for enlightenment. You have some kind of spiritual experiences. Unless you share it, you will not keep it. You will forget it after a while. So that's why we need to go and share and enrich people. When you share and enrich people, whatever spiritual experiences in terms of enlightenment experiences, you get to keep it, and you get to become more and more inspired for more and more spiritual experiences. Otherwise, you'll forget. You will take it for granted. You will start losing trust. Hey, don't know, is it true now? I think it's my illusion. Maybe it's just my hallucination that I saw darshan of deity. It's just my imagination. You start losing trust. You start questioning, oh, maybe it's just some kind of illusion. But it's a darshan. When you start having, you're able to share, and you start to be able to believe that this is not just your fabrication of the mind, but it is a spiritual experience. Okay? So why do you think that so many people become poor? They fear to share. They fear to share their power. They fear to share their time. They fear to share their life. The fellow who are afraid to share their time is a failed Shudra. Shudra, right? Shudra are those people who contribute to the humanity through their time, because time is what they have. And the fellow who is afraid to share their power is a failed Kshatriya. Power is like the warrior, the people who are in power in a community, right? And fellow who is afraid to share their wealth, the Vaishya, the businessmen who make money. If they don't share their wealth, they are a failed Vaishya. Because whatever you gain, you're meant to share. And the Brahmana, the people who are supposed to share enlightenment, the teachers, the acharyas, if they don't share, you are a failed Brahmana. Brahmana means your life mission or your consciousness is to teach, to share more and more this truth. That's why as an acharya, right? Let's say I'm an acharya, but I cannot stop teaching. I have to share. I have to continue to share the truth, because that is, the responsibility of a Brahmana. Understand? So in Vedic tradition, your consciousness is divided into 4 categories, whether it's Shudra, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Brahmana. They are based on your consciousness. It doesn't mean that you're only in one category all the time, because sometimes you play the role of Brahmana as a teacher to share enlightenment. Sometimes you play the role of a Shudra to contribute your time in a corporate world. Yeah, you sell your time for money, right? So you give the time. Or sometimes you're in a powerful organization where you contribute. You're managing some kind of, you have certain power in you. So you are a Kshatriya. Or sometimes you're a businessman, you're your own boss. You share the wealth, how to make money with all your friends and people who want to learn this science. So you're a Vaishya, you share the wealth. Understand? So don't think that you only be one category or in your entire life. At different time, in different life stage, you play all different roles. Understand? Okay? Next slide. So Swamiji is using these 4 descriptions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, for the sake of your understanding. So when I say Vaishya, I mean an entrepreneur, right? When I say Kshatriya, I mean a person empowered. When I say Shudra, I mean a person who's supposed to work and execute. When I say Brahmana, I mean a person who's supposed to be living enlightenment. So this is the context is giving in the present time. Okay? The present time, even when he say these different names, we're all in that category. Or we're playing in different role in different time. Okay? So when you don't share, you destroy yourself. So go on sharing. It will culminate in enlightenment. Okay? So I've seen a lot of people, after they have spiritual experiences, they are so shy to share. They don't want to keep it to themselves. They don't want the world to know because they are afraid people to know too much. They want to hide due to their inauthenticity, right? It means they fear that, if I tell the world, then they will judge me, or some people, I don't want my colleagues to know, or I don't want my parents to know, I don't want my family to know that I'm doing this.
It's conditioned by society, that our ego, right? They feel like if they show too much, it's not good.
Yes.
If they have too big ego, if they show too little, then they tend to show too little. And it's also not feeling confident.
Yeah. See, also there are people who build a image in the society to be someone like this. Let's say someone who is very powerful, a CEO, suddenly go and share this kind of thing, they will feel, no, I cannot do this. How will my subordinate look at me, right? They will feel, oh, no. So if they build a identity from society, right, they are not able to come to terms with that identity. They will feel that, oh, I cannot, this is too much, I will not share anything on my Facebook. This is not me. Do you understand? Because they build this identity, pseudo identity, in front of their colleagues or in front of their family. Suddenly I go and share about all my spiritual happening, then they will be like, what happened to you, right? So they're not able to handle it. So Swamiji said that the more and more you become authentic, what you show to the outside and what you show inside is the same. There's no double standard anymore. Correct? What you see is what you get. Right? If we go to know one's authenticity, you just go to the Facebook page and see whatever the person is posting, is it a true, but what the person is, what you experience as this person. Some people may be showing all the nice things on social Facebook just to show some aspect of them, but they're not showing who they are. Your level of authenticity is demonstrated by showing who you are in your Facebook. Your Facebook, this space is the same. There's no difference. So to build that same consistency, you need to become authentic. Okay, so that is the second click. You are not an island. So if you are not an island, you understand whatever experiences you go through or expansion you have gone through, you can impact and touch another person's heart. If let's say the person is meant to receive this knowledge or this truth from you, right? Someone who may be in the seeking for such breakthrough, and your experience just ignited their passion in life again, the trust in life again. You never know. Correct? So that's why Swamiji say, don't destroy yourself by not sharing. Go on sharing. It will culminate in enlightenment. Understand? Don't be stingy in your sharing. You're not an island. That's what he's trying to say. Okay, got it for this second click? Yes, thumbs up. Huh? Next slide. So now let's contemplate a few minutes for this second click, this second insight. There's the number 10 insight, where are you doing enough sharing? Are you stingy in your sharing? Because you think that enlightenment only is your thing. You don't think enlightenment impacts everybody. Do you feel that, oh, it's my spiritual growth, it's my thing only, I don't need to share, I don't need to tell the whole world, I don't need to interact with the whole world, I keep it to myself? How many of you had this kind of thinking? You please write down and contemplate, okay? Because all the clicks that Swamiji revealed in this satsang is to help us to contemplate and reflect where you are right now. If you understand where you are right now, then you know how to get back. If you are not even aware, you'll be stuck there. Awareness brings transformation. Non-awareness means you're stuck. Correct? So through this insight from his satsang, Does it click with you, resonate within you that this is happening in your life? You need to come out of it. Okay, so please take a few minutes to write in your book of heart, because later we're going to do a short meditation to resolve all that is coming out through this session. Okay, let me just see if there are any questions. Yeah, during our parents' time, right, generation, more men are very MCP. Yeah, male chauvinistic. Yeah, women mostly tahan. Yeah, I mean, we all know we went through that kind of generation. Only have baby photograph to show us how we look like. Okay, so now let's go to the next insight after your return. Okay, this is another one. I have to spend a bit more time. So please bear with me. Today's session is a bit long because too much Swamiji is trying to share. Okay, so he said pornography is violent. So please listen carefully if you have teenage kids or young kids who are going to be exposed to this world of Maya, illusion, in the form of pornography. So he said, I tell you, humanities without pornography will be violent free. And you know, pornography is proliferated throughout social media. As long as the child have a mobile phone, the risk is there. You do not know, he or she can be browsing something on YouTube and suddenly something pop out in the, the thing. You cannot stop it, correct? And even out of curiosity, the person just going to press one button and boom. And what kind of images they see can just create such impact in their inner space, the polluted inner space. Understand? So he say, when you are infused with so much passionate desire through the pornographic visuals, but you cannot live up to it through your body as you see in the visual, the whole passion gets converted into violence and gets stored in the body. So listen carefully. After the visual treat from these pornographic images, fire you up, okay, create the whole passions in your system, because through the seeing you will have some chemical reaction. And when this whole passion gets converted into violence, because you do not know how to handle it, you don't know how to go through it, you don't know how to live it. So when it gets stored in your body, imagine more and more violence get triggered, more and more violence get suppressed. So when passion gets recorded as violence into the bodies of many people, imagine collectively many people, human beings start suffering with so much violence. Why the society has become so violent? This is one of the reasons, because of the proliferation of pornography in the last 50 years. So whether it is domestic violence or violence as a country, understand that violence can be created just because of pornography, just because of porn. Okay? See, in country where pornography is not controlled, pornography is allowed, celebrated, like in US, even in Japan, all this kind of country where pornography it's not, under the control. Understand, all this built in suppression or this passion creates so much violence stored in the body. If you just look at the society where pornography is embraced, promoted, legalized, you will see the correlation with the kind of violence in that country. High correlation. Whether it's physical assault, whether it's sexual assault, whether it's suicide. Understand, suicide is also a form of violence, okay? Suicide is also a form of violence, is violent towards self. Because you kill yourself. So, all kinds of violence, whether it's external or to self, they are all violence. Okay, next slide. So, porn is going to take away your joy, your love, your real life. Understand what the damage pornography done to your inner space. You will never be able to enjoy the regular intimacy in your sexual relationship because you have built in so much fantasy from the pornographic images. You're no longer able to relate with the spouse in front of you. It is going to make you plastic, pseudo, because you have all this fantasy now. Only if you have this insight and understanding, you will be able to get out of this desire to watch pornography. Your desire to watch pornography will only be broken if you understand this insight that if you continue to feed your fantasy, your desire for all these images, you're going to lose your reality. That means your ability to be grounded in reality. That means relating to the person in front of you. Understand? Who is physically in front of you, but your mind is constantly imagining the fantasy from what you watch. That is like a gap in your fantasy and your reality. Understand? So unless you understand this, no pranayama can help, no meditation can help, no technique can help you. Understand? This is it's a conscious decision to jump out of this desire to watch porn. It's a conscious decision. When you understand this truth, that continuation of these habits will destroy your life, because not only you become violent, you're also not able to live with reality. So the worst suffering you can have in life is having the mind which is still jumping when the body is not able to jump. Imagine a 70-year-old man, body is already weak, but the mind is still desiring. That is it's like the hell, He's living in hell. The mind wants, but the body is failing, right? That is hell. So if you can understand what Swamiji is referring. So at certain life stage, you need to evolve, you need to drop it, right? So next slide. So in the old age, if your body is not jumping and your mind is not able to do anything to stop the jumping, that is hell. It happens just because of pornography. Okay? See, when you're old, you're not able to, your body is already sick or old, but your mind is still cannot stop the jumping. The mind is still desiring. You're in living hell. So if you want hell in your old age, you can add porn to your mind now. If you want to have hell in your old age, you can continue with the porn in your mind. Just like how if you add alcohol, smoking to your body now, you will have a physical disease, you have physical diseases in your old age, right? You just try to drink, your liver is going to have problem, or if you smoke, so your lung is going to suffer, but in old age, correct? You know for sure. All these are detrimental to, these substances are detrimental to your health. If you continue to take them in old age, you'll suffer, whether it's liver cancer or some kind of heart lung cancer. If you want mental, illness in your old age, you want to have mental sickness, disorder, you can add porn to your mind now. So porn will also create mental disorder. Okay? So I'm not teaching morality or spirituality here, Swamiji say. I'm telling you the plain hell facts. Pornography will make you sick in both ways, whether it's mentally or physically. It makes you sick and takes away the joy of the real person in your life. It means living with your spouse, the joy of living with a spouse, because of all your fantasy created by pornography. Okay? Any question? Next slide. So contemplate on this insight now. For a few minutes, then we go to the last insight. I want to, while you're writing, I want to say a lot of young kids now, teenagers, are suffering from this because the overexposure of pornography with the mobile phone or computer. As a result, they are very violent. Children are very violent. They kill. They're hot-tempered. They fight. A lot of pent-up violence inside them. They just explode easily, whether in a form of fight or in a form of killing. Okay, killing others because of the violence. They are not able to control.
Can I ask, is this the same effect for violent computer games as well? It
Yes.
gets stored as violence, right?
Yes.
Right. And I mean, maybe I can just do a quick sharing. It is true what Swamiji said, because I personally talked to a teenager. He plays violent games all day. Then I asked him why. Then he actually said, yeah, I mean, of course, he has his own family backstory lah. The relations are not good in the family. So he escapes to his room to play violent games. That's number one. Then he told me that slowly he feels like, the games can give him that kind of joy and
Yeah,
stimulation.
it's like an adrenaline rush. It's like a kick.
Yes. Yes. And so much so, right, that he feels like the real life cannot satisfy him anymore.
Correct, because the kick is like making his body insensitive, very numb. So simple pleasure can no longer satisfy him. That's why Swamiji says one of the greatest problems for future generation is boredom. Not anything else, but boredom. Because they get bored easily by all this overstimulation, their body becomes so insensitive. They cannot relate with the person in front of them. The mind is so polluted with all this graphic, whether it's pornography or whether it's gaming, violent, any kind of all this artificial visualization given by the social media or given by the computer. Understand? That is the danger. How can we protect our kid from that? How can we stop that? See, you can't stop it. The tsunami is already come, right? Right?
Only go to Gurukul. Only go to Kailasa.
Quickly bring them there, right? Protect them from all this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't escape. In primary schools, children start shying already.
Correct.
Students tend to play games.
From
simple games to
correct.
more addictive, more violence games.
Correct. Right? So you can't stop them. Even for my son, he also got stuck into all this kind of thing. But the good thing is, because he has been initiated by Swamiji, somehow he got pulled back, okay? He had that consciousness of awareness. He was lost for a while, then he came back. So I'm kind of happy that Swamiji caught him back. But not every kid is going to have that blessing, because of all the tapas I did to bring him to Swamiji, just to bring him to Swamiji for 5, awakenings, every year. I bring him without fear during his holiday. All this I have to plant the seed of that consciousness somehow inside him. And even if he veer off after a while, he will come back. So, but not every child is going to have that blessing or that fortune, correct? So of which we need to, how can parent, you as parent, stop that? You need to help them understand this truth. What is pornography doing to their consciousness? What it is doing to their life? The damage it's doing to them. Once they understand, then their decision to come out of it, to outgrow that, has to be their decision. Otherwise, it's an addiction. Addiction is like a cancer, spiritual cancer. You need to make a conscious decision to come out of it. So you cannot decide for your child. The child needs to feel that I don't want this anymore. I want to get out of this. Only then you can help them. Understand? When they're still in the midst of that addiction and delusion, without making the conscious decision, you cannot help them. You can't get them out. They may be lying to you. After that, they will go back and do it secretly behind your back. So it has to be there. You cannot police them all the time, correct? You have to help them understand why this is very bad, damaging to their consciousness. And once they understand, they cognize it, then it's for them to do it. Okay? Let's go to the next click, next insight. Okay, this is a very short one. Good thing. He says, love is tremendous understanding. From the violence, from the, you're not island and all that, now we come to love. So he says, your relationship has become too shallow. This is the truth. The relationship that now we are living with in the modern society has become very shallow. Why he say that? Listen, he said relationship have nothing to do with sending love notes or making lunch for the other person. Like all this, how the society teach you send flowers, send kind of gift, expensive gift, all this kind of like built on material thing, like just attention, showing attention. He said, forget about making lunch, or it has nothing to do even with making love. He said, not even making love. He said, it is something beyond making love or lunch. It is a tremendous understanding. Love is tremendous understanding. It is not even spending time together. Even you don't spend enough time together, but the love is there. The feeling connection is there. You don't feel that you're missing each other, right? He said it has nothing to do with getting in shape or dressing well. Like how so much obsession in the entertainment or the media showing the perfect figure, the perfect 8-packs, abdominal muscle for the guy. It's like they try to form certain ideology or ideal body for men and women, right? So, and then all they run behind is cosmetic surgery or some kind of nick and tuck on the body to torture your body. They are not able to accept the body they're given. And they try to use shortcut by going on all this expensive surgery, which sometimes can be very, very dangerous because some of them just like can be some proliferation in some arteries and just die, right? So that, and of course there are a lot of side effects that comes after the post cosmetic surgery, right? The maintenance, and then somehow you see one good example, you see Michael Jackson, right? He looked great after the surgery, but he never stopped. He couldn't stop anymore. Then after that he looks like a witch. The nose fell apart and he looks horrible, isn't it? At the later stage, before he died, he looks scary. The skin become bleached, the nose looks so artificial, all that kind of thing. So he said it's not all about getting in shape and dressing well and trying to fix here and there, your eyes, fix your nose, all this kind of thing. Many men suspect you if you suddenly get into shape and start dressing well, okay? So if your husband's seeing you start dressing very, very sexily and go around, of course, she'll suspect something, right? He say, no. So basically he said, what happened to you? Do you have a handsome new boss? They'll be thinking that you are having some extramarital affair because you're dressing differently now. You're so particular about how you look, how you present yourself. Next slide. It said, if sending a love note or making lunch is seen as a way to strengthen your love, it only shows that both of you are sick with attention need syndrome. Okay? Showing all this while send flowers, all this just to show off is attention need. How long you will be able to keep writing love notes and making lunches or sending flowers and getting in shape and dressing well to keep your relationship? You can't do this forever, correct? You can maybe do, initial courtship just to show good impression, but at some point in time, reality is going to hit and you're going to live with the person, right? You are going to get back to the real life. So first, bring some common interest into your relationship, something that you and your spouse or partner share in common. Then raise that common interest to the basic understanding of life. When a common interest becomes a basic understanding of life, a common spiritual quest, only then the true relationship starts happening. That is the only way you will have a safe, happy, blissful relationship that will last into your old age. Let your relationship be completely ripened, strong, based on friendliness and understanding. So that's why if you want to have a long-term marriage life, then you need to work with your spouse to have certain common interests or common understanding about life. For instance, let's say both of you enjoy yoga. What yoga brings to you at the next level of understanding about yoga in life. For instance, you know that with yoga you can live long, you can keep you healthy, and with yoga it can lead you to a more conscious lifestyle, etc., etc. Right? So you guys share the same understanding and you guys practice in yoga in your life. So that is a common ground to discover this journey together. That is the way how this relationship can ripen into old age.
I share something.
Yeah.
Just sharing.
Huh?
I actually was when you mentioned that relationships are getting shallow. I remember that when I was doing a JC class and they were asked to do project work, and I was a bit surprised when this student came to me and he said that I don't feel that there is any depth in our relationships anymore. I felt that the older generation of people were feeling more connected. And now he feels that there's a really big disconnect between him and his friends and anyone else in his life. So I think that they are able to sense that this shallowness is something that I mean, that was quite a number of years ago. And this child was like, I mean, I was very surprised that he wanted to do a project work on how to strengthen that relationship between one person and another. And another sharing, I remember when I was having going out with Aya, I don't think he ever gave me flowers. All I got was one small teddy bear. And I used to be so unfair. Why can't he give me flowers, nice things? But that's it, only small teddy bear.
That's okay. See, the child who wants to do a project, understand this child is very aware or sensitive to the happening around him and in the society, the degradation or dilution of relationship, the what kind of faulty ideas that society has built on relationship just by showering, just by pampering, just by attention is what we call love, right? Quote, love. But the depth of love is not all this superficial stuff. Correct? We all know that. But for them to experience that, they need to come to a level of understanding of the true meaning of love and then be able to experience it. Because to fundamentally experience true love, you need to be vulnerable. You need to open up to the other person so that the person can see who you are. Because a lot of time we try to hide, right? You try to present the best to the other person. And then after, when they get into marriage, then all the real side come out, then the person feel cheated. That's a scam. But then it's already too late. You're already in the boat. You can't jump out of the boat already. Right? Okay, next slide. So now contemplate on this insight as well. Okay? About this, the insight on your understanding about love. How superficial you have been experiencing love without that understanding. What Swamiji talk about the understanding. So we'll take a few minutes now to do a short meditation. All the 4 insights that Swamiji shared. One is the ultimate security. The other one is pornography is violent, and then you're not an island. And the last one is basically love is tremendous understanding. Shall we? So I'm going to play the Mahavakya for a few minutes. All of you please sit. Whatever clicks that came through to date for you, or you have written in your book of heart, please contemplate in this breathing space of Swamiji. Now that we are in the satsang, understand? Even though the satsangs that was delivered many years ago, understand? It is still alive. So we are now in his breathing space, listening to this satsang once again. Let's contemplate, because when sometimes in life. So close your eyes, sit with the back straight. Let's do it now.
Nithyananda Paramashivam.
In that contemplation, let you find the solution for yourself.
Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam.
You can open your eyes slowly. So let's go on to the next slide and then I will conclude. So once again, I want to invite all of you to the daily darshan. This morning we had the daily Parashakti's Akashic reading. So every day Swamiji is coming, whether it's live darshan or live darshan, please don't miss the darshan time in the morning, Singapore time 7 a.m. for the initiation. He said, reserve 7 to 9 o'clock for him, okay? So the time you get energy boost. Okay, next slide. So I also want to share this Friday is a public holiday in Singapore. It's National Day of Singapore. Kailasa Singapore is going to offer religious spiritual healing and Anandan. So we welcome all the devotees to come and enjoy the free food, which is going to be served sattvic vegetarian food for people. So you'll be offered to the deity first and Swamiji first, and then had the food energized, and then we will serve to the people. So do come and have also body scanning and spiritual healing by the Nithyananda yogi. So from 12 to 3 p.m. this Friday on the public holiday. So we look forward to seeing all of you. And if you are going to come, please make sure you register because we have to time the slot for people who are coming for healing. So next slide. So we'll resume the next session next week. So please enrich more people to join this session because the insights are too powerful and too important for all of us in our spiritual awakening. So with that, I'd like to conclude with the Purna mantra. We're already gone way past the time. So let's sit with the back straight. I thank you all for coming to this session. I thank Swamiji for giving us this insightful truth through the satsang. Let's conclude with the Purna mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sovam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Paruka Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Swamiji. Hey, Anandyata, I think you went live not on the Adinam page. I cannot find that. You probably live on your own Facebook page or some other page. Okay, you can stop the live streaming now. I didn't find it. You check, you have it. Okay. You can stop the live streaming also.